the headlines for your Friday.
All right, what's going on there, Kay? And guys, happy Friday. Glad to have football back that we saw last night. And obviously there's a lot of business that needs to be taken care of off the field as well. After all, COVID-19 is still something that teams have to take into consideration. Now, we learned earlier this week that 90% of players are fully vaccinated or have had at least one shot. Good news to be sure, but many players still are not out of the woods as they still have to deal with strict protocols. Which brings us to Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins, who was back on the field Thursday after missing multiple practices due to COVID-19 protocols. He was a high-risk, close contact with rookie quarterback Kellen Mond, who tested positive for the virus. Cousins would not reveal if he's been vaccinated, but said he plans to take extra precautions to ensure he doesn't miss any games.
I do believe that as a leader of the team, it's very important to follow the protocols to avoid this close contact, because that is what it's going to come down to, is did you have a close contact? And so I'm going to be vigilant about avoiding a close contact. I've even thought about, should I just set up literally plexiglass around where I sit so that this could never happen again? I thought about it because I'm going to do whatever it takes. So we're going to avoid this close contact thing, and I look forward to making sure I'm playing for every game this year.
All right, well, staying in the NFC North, all systems go in Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers after his much-publicized issues with the front office. But let's not forget he's the reigning NFL MVP and coming out back-to-back appearances in the NFC Championship game under Matt LaFleur's offense. Rodgers spoke about continuing to fine-tune the offense.
There's not a whole lot we wanted to change. I think we want to refine some things that we did last year, kick some plays out that didn't really fit with what we're doing, added a few things, some wrinkles, but Matt does a good job of communicating those things. We kind of throw our ego and our sensitivities out the window when we get in that room, and whatever comes out is what's in the best interest of the team. So it's fun. I enjoy those conversations. I enjoy being proven wrong. I really do. I'm headstrong, but when I come in there and he goes, well, this is this, and I'll show you why. Look at this clip here. And I go, yeah, that looks good. Let's do that.
I love the candidness from Aaron Rodgers. And I also love the fact that we're talking about Aaron Rodgers and the offense, not is he or won't he show up to training camp. Definitely like seeing that side for sure. And like Nick Nolte said in Blue Chips, I have become what I despise. And so this is what it was happening with the Aaron Rodgers coverage. So I am just glad we're now talking about the offense. It's very important. Very important.
Well played.
Got a bit of an ovation there from Nate Burleson. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you throughout the morning here. I'm sure you've got a San Francisco 49ers headline to weasel in and wedge in there somewhere over the next couple of hours. There's a lot to unpack there. Rodgers talking about the importance of refinement versus repetition. I love when he talks about his relationship with Matt LaFleur this season in history. What stood out to you guys most about what Rodgers had to say?
You know, I had a take a few weeks ago that I have to take back, I think was wrong. We were talking about him showing up, or would he not show up, and we talked about, angry Rodgers is going to be there, and we said Dracarys, and he's going to light the world on fire. I was wrong. It's not. He's the happiest he's ever been. Let's think about this for a sec. So he right now, he got to show up and basically get his pound of flesh and stand up there and say and make all the things he wanted to say about the organization. They got him to get Randall Cobb. His best friend is there. He's now living with Randall Cobb. Randall's living in his house. So he's got his best friend living with him. He's engaged, which is just an absolutely beautiful, magical time in anybody's life. He's healthy. He's paid. He loves his coach. He loves his teammates. I was wrong. I think it's the happy Aaron Rodgers you look for. He put something on Instagram the other day that was like, it's not about the length of relationships. It's about the depth. Like, it is not that Dracarys. It is the Zen ninja monk that you worry about. Last year, I think he was very happy. This year, I think he's even happier. He's like, well, I like being proven wrong. This is great. I think it's a bad thing for the NFC.
It's scary?
Yeah, I think he is in a beautiful place. I think he loved how the summer went. I think it was the best summer of his life. I think he loved how that press conference went. I think he's loving everything right now. And, the Packers offense will probably be incredible. I mean, I think it is scary. I think he's in a great place psychologically. That clip was great.
Yeah, it was great. And to your point, Kyle, we've talked about two different versions of Aaron Rodgers, him being like Pennywise and terrorizing the league, being angry and playing mad, like you said, Dracarys. And then there's another version of Aaron Rodgers where he's happy and he's smiling. And we've seen photos of him on the sideline with a big smile on his face during a play. I'll take you back to a time when I played in Green Bay against Aaron Rodgers, and I remember him shaking a couple of defenders, making a guy miss. He runs for the first down, and as I'm looking at him, he has this huge smile on his face, and I knew it was over for us. I knew it was a wrap. And he went out there and lit us up for the next 3 quarters because he was having the time of his life. If Aaron Rodgers is in a place where he has peace, tranquility, positivity, he's going to light this league up. And that's what it seems like he's in. And I will say this. I'm glad that he has a little bit of awareness, saying, you know what? There's times where I don't know everything. I am headstrong, and I can get a little ahead of myself. So I like that he hit both sides of it.
Yeah, you know, on 3rd and 9 in that game, in the NFC Championship game, LaFleur chose to kick a field goal, and a lot of quarterbacks would still resent him for it. I think it says a lot about Rodgers that he's like, he comes in here, and and this guy brings me a play, and I look at it, and I'm like, bleep, yeah, you know what, you're right. This is the rap on LaFleur since he was back in Washington, and even before then. Film junkie, and you could roll your eyes and say, well, they're all film junkies. No, but like Arthur Smith was telling me this offseason, who's the head coach of the Falcons, they were together in Tennessee. He's like, LaFleur will walk by you in the hallway and be like, hey, 3 years ago, Washington ran this play against Philadelphia. I want you to see it. And he's just all hours of the day looking at film and trying to find plays from other teams and pick and pluck. I think that's what Rodgers really appreciates. I don't know what he and Mike McCarthy would do on a week-to-week basis, but I think he appreciates coming in and seeing another person investing so much time in like finding a play that might work that he hasn't thought about yet. And there's such a respect there for that work.
I agree.
What if there wasn't? How bad could this have been? Like, was LaFleur the saving grace of this? Like, I remember even talking to Aaron last year about how he has to keep LaFleur calm on the sidelines, and they've got this relationship. He came out and said at the podium, luckily they didn't really talk to him about hiring LaFleur, but he liked him. Now they're talking about how they work and they jive. I like the taking us behind the curtain of that relationship, and I'm almost feel like we aren't giving LaFleur enough credit for his role in getting Aaron there and making Aaron happy, because if he did not like LaFleur, this could be an absolute nightmare right now.
The relationship seems great. It really does. And I just have to point this out. In the last 5 minutes on this show, think about this. In the NFC North, we just saw Rodgers talk about LaFleur. It's great, and this is incredible. And then, you know, the press conference we just saw from Kirk Cousins, the Vikings' biggest rival, talking about building a plastic partition around him. Now, regardless how you might feel about the vaccine, there's a divisiveness that is going on in Minnesota. And you have his head coach rolling his eyes openly and saying, I just don't understand what the hell is going on.
Zim said, quite literally, some of the things these guys are reading, woof.
Yes. So imagine that paired against Rodgers with his long hair and his happy press conference, and I love LaFleur, and we're getting along great. Like, it's not a really good look up there. And so, I mean, it's all coming up Packers for me.
At GMFB, great point by you, Kyle. Brant, more Good Morning Football. We'll talk Bears.